Hi, good morning. So my name is Jasmine and I'm trying to vlog. So for those who are watching this for the first time or watching me for the first time, I'm a homeschooling work from home mom. I'm a makeup artist by profession, as in I've been doing makeup for about 16 years already. And then recently I've rejoined the workforce after so many years of freelancing. I used to be a beauty editor for a magazine. I used to be a stylist. I've worn many different hats, and lately I have been mostly a mom. Introduce yourself.
My name is Roux.
Okay.
Or
Amelia. Okay. So I just recorded a vlog making kwento about why we're homeschooling, how we ended up homeschooling, and what method we're doing, which is the Charlotte Mason homeschooling method, and our provider is our Living Learning.
So mommy is teaching me how to do something new and teaching a lesson for me.
Okay. Thanks, Roux.
You're welcome.
And so we started in July. It's already January. It's been 6 months, and I really think I'm due to record something because I've been getting questions on how did you get your 5-year-old to start reading, or ano pa ba yung mga questions sa akin? What curriculum do you use? Does that curriculum work or not? So I'll start off with our Living Learning is kind of an open curriculum, and advocate for the Charlotte Mason education. I'm not an expert at it, but what I know about it is that it instills habits and is really just short lessons for the kid, which I think really benefits the teaching partner, me in that case. So I guess the best way for me to be able to describe it is we go through some books. I read the books to her, and then because she's in kinder, she's not expected to narrate back, but at some point when she's older, the exercise really is for the child to be able to fully comprehend the story that you read to them or they read on their own. And then because they're able to tell back the story, the neurons in their head kind of have that critical thinking in place naturally. And because
if I don't understand the word, I underline it.
Yeah. So since Roux started learning how to read, it has been amazing for me because I just give the book to her, she sets her timer, and then she reads on her own. And then when there's a word that she's not sure how to pronounce or understand, she underlines it. And then when I have the time, I go back to what she just read. And then that's when I tell her how to pronounce those words or what those words mean. So sobrang dali, nakakatuwa. Okay. So going back, the Charlotte Mason education also uses living books, not textbooks, which I think is also very rich and beautiful, as in it has opened my eyes again to the whole adventure of reading. So I just wanted to show you all the books that we've read the past 6 months. So it's this stack of books. Ayan, lahat yan natapos na yan ni Roux. By natapos, meaning I've read it to her, or her ate Cathy has read it to her, Kuya Mio, or she has read it on her own. Is this all? There's more. Yes, there's more. So let me show you the books. So all of these Little People, Big Dreams books, she's finished reading those already. What else have you finished reading, Roux?
I read about
Ano pa ba? Nakakainis siya. And then she has Bible, and then Nasaan na yung Bible stories? And then literature books for language arts. And then something in Filipino, and then 2 math curriculums. And then she's supposed to do life skill stuff like chores, going out, doing nature study for science, so she just observes the nature. So sinasabay namin yun. Like, for 20 minutes, she'll go out, she'll do chores, which is either pick up leaves outside, or pick flowers, or water the plants. And then when she observes something, like a new insect, she takes a lot. Sorry, can you pick that up? She takes 10 minutes and draws them. And then, kumbaga, that hones her observation skills. And this is a form of narration also, telling back the story. What amazes me about this narration, so for example, we were reading. Oh, can you look for the 7 Little Sisters? So we finished this. It's supposed to be a geography book. The 7 Little Sisters. So it's a book this thick also. The 7 Little Sisters talks about 7 sisters around the world. And then walang picture, as in wala masyadong picture. And then super ka na amazed because I tried, and then she was able to draw the story the way that she understood it in her head. And I just put notes there. And this is, for example, the insect that she saw. We thoroughly finished this one for values. The Jesus Storybook Bible. As in, this is from Genesis all the way to Revelations. And it was so easy, so I just read 1 story per day. I think we finished this in August. So parang ano na gagawin ko for values or Bible study. And then I saw this from Andy Manzano's stories, and then she recommended where to get it. So naka-date na to. So there's a devotion every day. And then I also supplemented with reading the Book of Virtues. Ang ganda-ganda ng language nitong the Book of Virtues. Okay? So those are the supplements for our values. And then at some point, sabi ko parang we need to go back na to reading the Bible again. So on January 1, the devotion book started with the story of creation on January 1. So I said it was the perfect time to start reading history. A child's history of the world. So among Charlotte Mason living book recommendations for history, this is one of the books that I saw, and it was very gentle. So the first history chapter is creation. So nakakatuwa because actually you can also do.
a ballet teacher.
I'm also a ballet teacher. Okay, so there's a staircase of the time. So nakakatuwa because this kind of storytelling or teaching makes sense of historical events, real historical events based on the stories of real people in the past. And then, for example, when you study or just read through ancient Egypt or ancient Rome, we get to go through Bible stories and historical stories and match them in a timeline we call the Book of Centuries. So my Book of Centuries is an accordion type of notebook.
And I'm already done with this.
Parang ganyan. So I put 1 spread per century. For example, at the very start, this is the story of creation. And then, so every time she encounters a story of a person, or an ancient story or a story in the Bible, we refer to some resources like the Simply Charlotte Mason curriculum. And then we chart them on a Book of Centuries. So, ganda kasi parang na-actualize mo yung Bible stories and the historical events. And you know, we're not a very religious family, but we're Catholic. So, sagad na ako kasi sa simba nung bata ako. Nag-choir kasi ako, reader ako, ganyan. Tapos, Pero nung tumanda ako, because work was always on weekends, I had an excuse not to go to church. So it was very important for me to send the kids to a traditional Catholic school so that at least in school they have that, right here, they have that, ano ba tawag doon? Religiousness. And then on homeschooling, I was a little worried about that. So while we really wanted a secular household, I needed to make sure that the values, curriculum, or concepts are in place. So aside from that, I also read this book to Roux, which I think opens up a lot of doors for the. So this book called What I Believe. So we went through different children characters who are Islams, Buddhists, Hindus, Sikhs, Catholics. Ayan. So she got to learn about the different types of religions, what they believe in. Yeah. You like this book?
To honestly.
Huh? To God? It's to God now. Okay.
Godlessly.
Ano pa ba? So that's how we went through some subjects and why we love our books. Para siyang nagiging spine. I hear these terms in the Charlotte Mason world of moms and Facebook groups. And yeah, there are spines nga that you can use kasi for each subject para hindi magulo.
Can I sit on your face?
No, sorry. Sit on your chair. In fact, I've been so reliant on books that when there are concepts that are hard for me to discuss or parang maninerman na ako, I just pick out a book. So I got some of these values books also. For example, when we're talking about Roux's body, I read her this one, My Body is Private. And then Roux is kind of friendly. So I had to read this one, Never Talk to Strangers. And then pag nag-aaway sila ni Paco, I have these scholastic books. So I just pick it out and then yun na rin yung parang time out nila. Sit down, I'm gonna read you a book. Parang gano'n. And then, you know, like with my 3-year-old, there's a time that he threw a ball at me. And then, hindi ko ma-explain why it wasn't good, why it hurt my feelings, and why he had to say sorry. Because I didn't just want him to say sorry because I said so. I wanted him to understand why it was necessary. I didn't have a story book, but I reached out for a book entitled Forgiveness. This one. To my 3-year-old, and I just read it to him. Nung una talaga, very indignant siya. No. Ayaw talaga niya mag-sorry. And then siya pa yung umiyak. Yung siya na nga yung nanakit, siya pa yung kailangan ko i-comfort. So I read him this book while he was crying. And then, you know, after I read the book, I think he got it. He's 3 years old, He got it. And then at the end of the book, he said, sorry, Mom. So, ayan, it's really amazing. Okay, how did Roux learn how to read?
I put the letters together to form a word.
Yeah, basically, that's what we try to tell the kids. So, Roux went to 2 schools already. So, she was 4 when she was in Miriam and 3 when she was in Creative Explorers. I'm not the kind of parent who gets pressured na basahin mo to or memorizein mo na yung flags ng iba't ibang bansa, ganyan. Maybe that's what happens when you have so many kids, parang easy ka na lang doon, di ba? Because nga, each child is different. Pero syempre, because the obligation of teaching the child is now on me, medyo na-pressure ako na siya kasi pa siya marunong magbasa. And really, it should be okay for kinder, di ba? And there's a natural progression to it. In fact, grammar and reading or writing isn't taught in the forms of Charlotte Mason until they're in grade 4, because now what you're trying to hone at the start is their comprehension, that they're able to explain to you the concept.
Can they, I have to read again and again for it so I can memorize it.
Okay, so how did I start teaching Roux how to read? You know, it really was easy days as soon as she learned how to read. So, nung una, ikaw pa talaga magbabasa. Yung 10 minutes na yun, di ba? You think 10 minutes is easy. Pero at some point, parang shucks, buong araw kailangan nagbabasa ako, nagsasalita ako dun sa kid. So, as soon as she learned how to read, sarap ng buhay ko. Okay, so how did we start? So, like I said, I thoroughly read this at first to her. So, itong buong libro na to, dinectate ko sa kanya. The first few stories of the Book of Virtues also. I also finished reading for bedtime to her these set of fairy tales. Ang ganda ng book na to. Sobra. So, I'm not very attached to books. In fact, I let go of books that were done reading that I think other kids can benefit from, but I hold on to the ones that I really love.
And I also ballet shoes.
Don't show. Ano pa ba mga tapos ko na basahin sa kanya? So, I also read this to her, What I Believe in. Okay. This book, we also finished reading this. Reading literature, first reader, it was so easy because the font is so big. And then what I did was, tinry ko lang. So, because it's very repetitive, the stories that are here. This is where I started asking Roux to read back to me. So, I would read a line, and then she would try to put the letter sounds together. At some point, I got so impatient. So, naghanap ako ng teaching resource. And then I saw this on Shopee, of all places. Teach Your Child to Read by Annis Garfield. It's not Charlotte Mason at all. But it's really a phonetic way of reading. Saan that ba? Tapos tignan mo, nasa gitna pa lang kami. Ang galing na niya magbasa. Hindi namin natapos to. As in, hindi namin natapos. But parang we didn't need to finish it anymore. So, for me, this unlocked something in Roux. Because after that, it was easier for her to read all of these stories already. So, we also read Filipino books. Namin na niya natapos. And, ay. Okay. No.
I got it.
And so, on her own, she would read the Little People, Big Dreams. So, natapos na niya ata, as in, lahat ng meron kami na to, she finished reading. Don't bother. And also these living series from
There's more books.
Tahanan Books. So, she reads about one Filipino and then one one Little People, Big Dreams person every day on her own. Ayan. Ito rin, the Nursery Alice, I finished reading this to her. This whole nature stories for young readers, garden verses, and in Storyland, Roux reads on her own already.
I don't like.
And that's how she learned how to read. Basically, I read to her, and then she put the letter sounds together until she was able to form words. I even had the flashcards on standby, but we didn't need to use them. I'm holding on to those reading tools and resources so that
You need to.
it might resonate with Paco. We also had, at some point, what I did was I would leave out some of the flashcards. So may flashcards of words, diba? And then, saan na nakalagay yun? So, for example, this is left out with this, a flashcard like this. And then in front of it, I had these alpha bricks. Oh no. So, I had these alpha bricks prepared. So I guess that's how I applied the Montessori at home style of teaching. Kasi naka-prepare. And then every day, part of Roux activities, including aside from calendar math, was to spell the word on the flashcard. So natapos na niya yung buong alphabet. Ganyan. I mean, all of the flashcards na ganito. So she learned how to spell that way. Or for example, I'll give her a word to read, and then I make her memorize it and spell it from her head, and then write it down to collect the word. There's really, it's kumbaga the words are collected in notebooks and copying. So we do copy work also as part of a Charlotte Mason education form of learning. She can copy almost anything that you would like. It's nothing set. May mga copy books that are provided so that you can download and print. For example, where's that copy book?
I don't know. Wait.
So anyway, for example, in the devotion book or in the garden verses, I will just point to her something and then for 10 minutes she will copy it. Tapos, ayun na, natutunan siya magsulat. Maganda. So that's how Roux learned how to read. It's basically you reading to her. It's basically me reading a lot of books to her and then her trying to exercise how to read. So I hope that will inspire you and help you in kicking off your homeschooling or educating at home. Maybe I'll go through each curriculum next time, especially math, because she really enjoys our math curriculum and our schedule for the day. So I really need to prepare my content for this, no? Ayun, so anyway, thank you and have a nice day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It feels so weird, but yeah. Okay, say bye, Roux.
Bye.